work at, I know that it's somebody watching this that, like I said, wherever you work, you got a coworker that don't do shit, okay? Hello, I'm Janelle and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today this is a different type of video. Please understand that I did not want to make this video, okay? But I was encouraged to make this video on the pretense of maybe saving somebody somewhere the misery that I endured, okay? So I am a retired correctional officer, and when I say retired, I mean the real kind, where my money, meaning my pension that I worked so hard for, is gonna hit my account before I even lift a finger, before I even open my eyes, okay? On the same date of every month. So I am highly qualified to speak on this matter, okay? So the reason why I am saying to you to never be a correctional officer is to save you, okay? That is the only reason why I am saying never. So if you are not used to rawness, my kombucha. I'm drinking gingerbread. Okay, so like I was saying, if you're not used to rawness, realness, or the truth, please click off this video because this is not for you, okay? This video will not be for you if you cannot stand rawness and realness. And again, I am highly qualified to speak on this subject because, again, I am a retired correctional officer from the state of Maryland. I have dedicated 20 years of my life to that job. I retired in 2017, okay? And I started my career when I was very young in 1997. So I'm not going to discuss the entire aspects of the job and things like that, no, because this topic alone I can make about 100 videos, but I'm not. I'm gonna let the past stay right back there. But again, I'm making this video to help somebody, to save somebody the misery that I actually went through. Everybody's story is different. This is my story. These are my opinions, and this is the things that I have experienced and the things that I have saw. Everybody has seen different things that worked in the field, okay? I don't know nothing about other states. I only know about the state of Maryland. I don't know anything in jails or prisons that happened before 1997 or that happened after 2017. I do not know and do not care, okay? So I am basically making this video again to help somebody. If you know somebody that wants to be a correctional officer or that is a correctional officer and wants to get out of it, this video is for them, okay? So I have subject matters that I'm going to discuss. It's only going to be a few. So the first one is the environment, okay? It is a filthy, disgusting, nasty place, okay? When I took the job when I was young, it was installed in me to get a job with benefits and that had a retirement plan. That was all I was worrying about. That's why I took the job. In the city where I was born and raised, Baltimore, Maryland, I didn't even know where the jails was at. I had never even been to a jail. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about in the 90s, okay? So my first introduction to the jail was the day that I started. I did not know nothing about it. I didn't even really know what to expect. But I'm going to let you know now, it's a filthy, nasty, disgusting place to work, okay? You are dealing with so many different types of personalities that you just would never believe. You just wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure people can imagine it, but you would just never believe that when you first walk into the doors of a correctional facility, it's like black, dark clouds and spirits just jump on you, okay? I'm not being dramatic. This is what it is, okay? You're dealing with a lot of emotionally distressed people on both sides. So this subject that I'm talking about right now is the environment of a correctional facility, okay? So the environment alone is disgusting, okay? So You're dealing with a lot of military people or ex-military people and people after fighting for this filthy country, they still need a job and they come into corrections, okay? So you're dealing with, now we're talking about the staff. The staff, a lot of them are ex-military or still in the military. And if you know anything about people in the military, not all of them, but some of them, they ain't wrapped too tight on period, okay? So you have those people that are your superiors or your colleagues that ain't wrapped too tight. Then you got regular old me that's coming in, don't even know nothing about nothing. And then you got all the crazy inmates, about 95% of them, okay? So, and then I'm in the middle, and then you got these people crazy, and then you got these people crazy, and then it's just smashing you just like that. That's what you're walking into. So I want you to understand that. Okay, so meaning, could you imagine waking up every day, going into a facility and having to deal with about over 300 personalities? I don't think you could. I had never imagined it myself. That's why I am physically drained when it comes to people. So every video that you will see of me, or if you watch any of my vlogs, I am 97% of the time by myself. I will not. Anyway, so the environment is really nasty. You know, a lot of the correctional officers do not have all of the things that they need to perform the job that needs to be done, okay? We talking about radios, which we used to call it a J unit, but then other facilities in the area where I work called it a radio, so they just started calling it a radio. Anyway, so radios, mace, you have your CPR kit. If someone is hanging or something like that, you have to perform CPR. That is what you are there for. You are, you know, you go to CPR classes every year. You're certified in CPR. You have to perform CPR on somebody if they need CPR. So you have like the little kit, which they didn't give that to, you know, I'm going to say us for a minute because I'm speaking as if I'm still in the moment. They didn't give that. They didn't provide us with a CPR kit, meaning the plastic shield, until years down the line while I was there. But for that, like the nursing staff, they would come, or like maybe a supervisor would bring it, but we didn't have it on our person, okay, until many years down the line. So anyhow, you barely have the equipment that you need to perform the job effectively. That's number one, okay? You are walking into a damn madhouse. Now, let me say this. If you come from a big family where you have a bunch of siblings, your house is like a loud house with a whole bunch of music, where the screen door is always slamming, where the phone is always ringing, and it's just a whole bunch of chaos, it's the job for you. Okay, where I come from, I only had one sibling, so I never came from a loud household, so I wasn't used to any of this walking into this, and this is on period. I was not used to all of this chaos and all of this noise, and that's why I am who I am today. I cannot deal with all that shit, because dealing with all of that noise and chaos for so long, some people will get immune to it and some people will learn to hate it, okay? So I was kind of like in between. Like when I was there, depending on where I was, it was just too much for me. It was just too much for me. It was so annoying. I mean, you would not even imagine. The noise level was on 1 million, okay? You got people screaming about this. You got people on tears screaming to the people on this side of the tier, all the way at the bottom. I mean, you couldn't even hear yourself think, okay? So, the environment, again, is just, it's a hellhole. It's a hellhole. The shit ain't fit for a damn animal, for real. So, that's... I'm speaking a little bit, that's just a little bit about the environment. I can go so much deeper, but I'm just giving you the surface, okay? I'm looking down at my notes. So we're going to talk about if you are a woman and you have kids. I only have one child, so I can't speak on what it would be like to have more than one child working at such a demanding job. The job is demanding, okay? It could be 25 minutes until the time you get off and they tell you you have to stay another 8 hours. Could you imagine? Literally, could you imagine when you have to go home to your kids and you may not even have arrangements? This is the shit that they pull on a daily basis, where you've already worked 8 hours and 12 minutes. And yes, I say 8 hours and 12 minutes because you have to be the roll call 12 minutes before your shift actually start. I used to work 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., but I had to be to work at 6:48. The 12 minutes is for them to let us know what happened on the prior shift, to give us information about the prior shift. So that's why we had to be to work 12 minutes before. So could you imagine 25 minutes to 3 o'clock and somebody's telling you you got to stay for another whole 8 hours? That's where the shit got real, okay? Anybody that is watching this that know me personally, they already know that what I'm saying is the facts. I always went home sick when they pulled that shit on me because I wasn't letting no streets raise my son. And I had to go home to my son. I had to do homework, give him a bath and feed my son. So I wasn't going to let no job stop me from doing that. Yes, I stayed for the draft once in a blue moon. Thank God for my mother. She helped me out a lot because my son's father was murdered. So it was just me and my son from the age of him being 2 years old on forward. So my mom helped me out a lot with that. But could you imagine, being at a job already for almost 8 hours, and 20 minutes before you get off, they telling you got to stay another 8 hours. That shit right there. So if you got kids, please understand Division of Corrections don't give a damn about you having no kids, okay? You better make other arrangements. And you better make them fast, because depending on the type of personality you have, you ain't leaving. But me, they damn near borderline hated me because I wasn't going for none of it. My mother always taught me to stand up for myself and to fight for myself until the very end. So that's what I done. It was almost like I was at war every day with everybody because I challenged everything. I walked around with the policy in my hand every day because they always try to play with me, They try to tell you to do things that are unethical, that are not in the policy, so you have to read a lot. So if you're not a reader, this is not the job for you, because you're not going to follow up on policies and you're going to be lost, and then they're going to take your job they're going to pull it right from you. They're going to take your job right from you. So you have to be the type of person that is very smart and very knowledgeable to complete the mission. And when I say a mission, imagine if you're in the military and you're on a tour, that's considered a mission to me. So if you are in corrections, the mission is to retire if that's what you want to do. That's the whole mission. That's the whole point of the job. It's not really just about the money, but of course it's about the money. But the whole point is to retire and to complete the mission. That's the mission. So if you don't educate yourself with the policies and things, and I mean every single policy, because they got 100 of them, okay? Every time you turn around, they changing something, so you got to stay up on it. So if you're not the type that like to read and things like, it's not the job for you, okay? Okay, so I'm going to talk about the mindset of a person. Okay, so depending on your mindset and your background and things like that, it would determine if you are a strong enough person to deal with everything that you have to deal with walking into here. Now, you're dealing with pedophiles, you're dealing with murderers, you're dealing with so many different types of people that are at war with themselves, okay? And meaning when people are at their lowest point in life, they're going to try to do anything to tear you down. And I mean tear you down. You could think you are the most beautiful person in the world, and when you go up in there, they will attempt to tear you down, like so low where somebody can stomp on you, okay? That's what I'm talking about. So it depends on your mindset. You have to have a strong mindset, or you have to learn to build yourself up to work there, because if not, you're going to go home and you're going to cry every day. You're going to cry every day. So it's either you're going to go home and cry every day, or you're going to fight back and you're going to build yourself up to the point where no matter what somebody say to you, that shit, you will brush it off. So it depends on your mindset. So luckily for me, I come from a household where my mother has a strong mindset and she ain't to be played with, and that's how she taught me and my brother. And that's how I taught my son. Now, of course, we ain't, invincible, but it would take a lot to break me down, honestly. It would take a lot. So you have to be a certain type of person to be able to deal with that environment, because it's chaotic as hell, and you're dealing with people with all types of mental problems, and like I say again, murderers and child molesters and things like that, and you have to still remain professional throughout it all, and you have to treat people accordingly. It's not treating people how you want to be treated, not in that environment. It's treating people accordingly, okay? These people are people that you don't want to run into in a dark alley or a lit one, Let me drink my kombucha. Hold up. So, again, it's not the job for everybody. I mean, because when I first started, I'm very petite, as you can see. When I first started, they counted me out. A lot of the people who were there, you know, and who trained me and, you know, just that were there before I came, they had counted me out, and some of them end up being terminated or even quit. They didn't even complete the mission. So it's almost like, don't even let somebody tell you or attempt to tell you what they think you can do. And it's not even really about proving somebody wrong, but I proved them all wrong because I actually completed the mission. So, and I can speak about anything I want to speak about when it comes to this topic. I can even name names if I wanted to, because I have no connections with that place. It has been 4 years since I retired. So I can really tell y'all some real raw stories. But again, I'm going to let the past stay back there, because that shit is irrelevant to me at this point. I really don't even care. But I'm just, you know, doing this video to, like I say, to save somebody, okay? It's about me helping somebody make the decision not to walk in my shoes and not to take that job as a career, because it will totally destroy you, depending on the type of person you are. It can really destroy you as a person. You will be watching your back, your front, your side, and you're never going to trust anybody. And you're going to always see the worst in everybody from the very beginning. And then once people, you know, you get to know people, you'll get to see whether or not they're good. But in the very beginning, you're going to see the worst in everybody. And that's really no way to live, you know. But it's just, it comes with the job. And it's just a part of the job. And it's just kind of sort of how you will view the world from that point on. Because you're dealing with so many maniacs and so many psychotic people. You know what I mean? And correctional officers are expected to be doctors and nurses and everything, counselors and all of that. They want you to be all of that in a whole without paying you for all of that. To me, to this day, which I have not Googled it lately because I don't care, but correctional officers are underpaid, okay? Please understand, they're underpaid. The shit that you have to deal with walking into those doors and walking behind those gates is unbelievable, okay? When you first come to work, everything that you have with you, which can't be a lot, it has to be in clear containers. All of your food has to be in clear containers. You have to take off your shoes when you're coming in the door. You have to take off your coat. They search your coat. It was even days where they randomly choose certain officers. And like I said, randomly. You have to go inside of the bathroom with a captain or a lieutenant, and you have to take off your uniform shirt. They have to search your uniform shirt. They have to search you without your uniform shirt on, okay? And then once they see that you're clear, you don't have any contraband, then you put your shirt back on. But can you understand, or can you even fathom the thought of how humiliating that is? When you're not even the criminal. Now keep in mind, is a lot of people that are in disguises, that are wearing a blue uniform, but they really playing a 50. We used to always say they play a 50, and playing a 50 meaning you're half a CO and you're half an inmate. You don't know which one you want to be. You on this side, then you on that side. So that's one of the things that we always say. So that's the type of job where you gotta watch everybody, because you don't know who's who and who's who. You don't know nothing. Just because they got on a uniform don't mean that they on your side. There's a lot of corruptness in there. There's a lot of corruptness, and it's just a lot of shadiness. It's a lot of disrespect. It's a lot of, you know, just people just demanding things from you. Like I said before, a lot of my old coworkers was from the military. People that are in the military, or, you know, maybe retire from the military, a lot of them do not know how to talk to people, okay? A lot of them are very demanding and very controlling, and sometimes the way that they would talk to, you know, officers, even if they was an officer, you would think they was talking to a dog, okay? They don't know how to talk to people. So you're dealing with shit from both ends. You're dealing with some chaotic coworkers that are crazy as hell. Then you dealing with, you already going to assume that the inmates, because of what they could be in there for, is already crazy, which of course is not everybody, you know. It's a lot of innocent people that are in jail. Everybody should know that. But like I said, when people are there at their lowest point in life, you don't know how you going to handle them, because they going to treat you like shit because they just disgusted with life, okay? You walking into just a whole bunch of a bunch of demons every day. It's almost like you're just walking into a dark cloud, like I said. It's people that's talking to you all crazy. They want you to do everything they want you to do, but they don't even know how to talk to you. This shit is crazy. It's pure craziness. So again, if you doing or even considering doing this job, please don't do this job for the money, because you're underpaid. You're going to be underpaid. You're never going to be paid for the actual job that we had to do, because it was a lot of work. Now, I know it's somebody watching this, wherever you work at. I know that it's somebody watching this that, like I said, wherever you work, you got a coworker that don't do shit, okay? This is how it was there. The favoritism is at an all-time high. It's some shit that you would never believe. So it's gonna be people that work in that field that don't have no stories, because they ain't never done shit since they been there, okay? That goes for any job. It's gonna be people who ain't never done shit and ain't never gonna do nothing. Some people just get off like that, you know? Hey, more power to them. Anyway, okay, so I also want to add this part because this is very important. Division of Corrections will attempt to strip every female officer from her femininity, okay? It was just designed that way. If you allow them to strip you from being the feminine woman that you are, if you are feminine, then that's on you. Because that's what wasn't going to happen to me. Like, I was not going for it. So the first couple years when I started, we couldn't even wear post earrings. So the union fought for us to be able to wear earrings. And I'm talking post earrings, little small earrings. We couldn't even wear that. We couldn't wear no earrings. So to somebody else, that might just be a small thing, because somebody might say, oh, you're only going to work. No. To a woman, that is a big deal. So if you allow a job to strip you from who you are, that's on you. Because that, like I said, that wasn't going to happen with me. And then I do want to make this point too. Everybody should know this. Division of Corrections / the criminal justice system is a dirty system, okay? Everybody should know it is a dirty system, and there is no rehabilitation for inmates. There is none. So that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic that I won't touch, but I'm gonna leave that right there. So it's just like a repeating cycle. The job is just like you're going in circles. Nothing is ever really being accomplished, honestly. You know, the good part about it is the people that belong there, they're there. But I just feel, you know, I just feel kind of sorry for some of the officers who are there and don't want to be there. That's the part that is just kind of disturbing. I mean, you have to make that choice. You just have to make that choice if you want to ride it out and finish the mission, or you want to get out of there, because it's one hell of a place to work. It's one hell of a place to work, and I'm going to just leave that right there. Okay, so like I was saying, that's the type of job where if you don't know how to write a report or write a summary, well, they do teach you that, but to me, being a good writer, it comes from within, okay? Because you have to really know how to write to work there. You really do. You need to know how to write well, because you have to write reports every single day about every single thing. And if you don't know how to write, you'll write your ass right up out of a job, okay? That's very much important. So, again, if you don't like to write and you don't like to read, don't apply for the job. It's not the job for you. Okay? But the reason why I titled this video, Never Be a Correctional Officer, is because all of the shit that you have to endure that will psychologically mess you up for life is things that I will probably never get over, you know? It's, you know, stories that I have that are for days. I have stories for days. And the most important thing that I, you know, was worried about when I went to work is that nobody was going to die on my watch. Because keep in mind, everybody is against somebody. When you are an officer, it's correctional officers against correctional officers. That's number one. It's correctional officers against supervisors. That's number two. It's correctional officers against inmates. That's number three. It's correctional officers against civilians. That's number four. You got, we call nursing staff and the public defenders and all of those type of people, we call them civil. Everybody is against the correctional officers. Like everybody hates the correctional officer. Even the correctional officers hate the correctional officers, which is just, it's just horrible because I have really met some good people. I met some really good people and I met some hard-working women. That is one place where I have never in my life seen a woman work that hard. You have, now, the schedule, I don't know what they do now, but the schedule we were on, we worked 7 days straight, off 4, 7 days straight, off 3. Can you imagine getting up for 7 days straight? And let's just say, like I said, if you got more than one child, which I could never imagine, having to get them up or whatever your situation is, 7 consecutive days straight, you off 4. 7 consecutive days straight, you off 3. I work with some hard-working women that felt like they never made enough money, so they worked like 10 and 12 days straight. That's why I say I've really met some hard-working women. I probably will never meet women that work like that in my life again. Some of those women worked so hard that it was heartbreaking to me being a woman and seeing women work so hard like that. Now, of course, you have to work for what you want, you know? Like, I worked my ass off too, but I didn't overwork myself. I'm not the type that is chasing money, and I don't worship money. So it's whatever I don't have, I won't have. That's just how I look at it, because I'm not going to overexhaust and overexert myself for money. That's just me. I'm not going to do it. Do you, if that's what you're going to do, but I'm not going to do that. Because to me, I just don't see no joy in that shit. All I see is pain in that. And if you see my eyes right now, and the way that I see some of my old co-workers working, they had kids together, because that shit bothers me so bad when I see somebody overworking themselves and knowing that you're never going to be rich from working a job. But you are overworking yourself because in your mind, you think that working 14 and 15 days straight is going to save you from all your problems. It's just, I'm telling you, it's not a job. For me, like, I was the type, I never thought that I would say this. Because I always think or thought that women equally should do the same things that men, you know, jobs that men do. Or should be able to do the same jobs that men should do. But I really honestly believe that's the job for men, for real. Because a lot of the men that work there, they really couldn't even handle the inmates, honestly. But that's neither here or there. But I honestly believe that that's a job for men. And I'm going to stand by that shit. Because it's a disgusting ass place to work. And it just makes no sense to have so many women take on a job like that and have to detain so many men. It just makes absolutely no sense to me, and it just should be addressed. But I guess they never really get enough men to actually want to do the job. And I know somebody is probably thinking, like, if you hated the job so much, why did you stay? It wasn't my plan. It was God's plan. It was not my plan to stay. I had tried and begged and pleaded God to get me the hell up out of there. I tried so hard, but nothing never came out of me trying to leave. I literally was up to like year 13, and I still wanted to leave. Like, if y'all remember when TSA first came, because of course the airports didn't always have TSA. When TSA first came, a lot of my coworkers quit and went and done TSA. And I was one of the ones that went and took the test, but I didn't pass the test. So it was almost like I felt stuck. I had begged and pleaded and cried to God to get me the hell up out of there. That's how much I hated that damn job. Okay? So the things that I'm telling you is not out of my hate for the career, but it's out of my knowledge for the career, because it's a lot that you got to deal with, and I just don't think that most people are ready for that shit. I just really don't think you're ready for that, because a lot of my old co-workers, end up being drug addicts and alcoholics. And these were some of the ones that were there before I came. So they were much older than me. I was 22 when I started. They were much older than me. They ended up being drug addicts and alcoholics and having to go to drug classes to get themselves clean, because the stress of the job, the shit is no joke. It's going to psychologically mess you up for life, for the most part. I'm still recovering from a lot of the shit that I had to deal with people. I'm still recovering. Each and every day is a healing process for me. And I thank God every day that I walked out of there looking the same way I walked in. I thank God for that. Because people, like I say, they counted me out. They counted me out. I walked out of there looking just as young as I did walking in there. You would think that I literally had no stress. So that's not something that's going to happen for everybody. Because some of the people that I seen, when their mission was completed, meaning they retired, they looked like they retired, literally. And this is no shade, because the job will fucking drain you, okay? Imagine working 7 days straight, off 3, 7 days straight, off 4, for such a long time. Because when we first came, the job, it wasn't like that. It was like 5 days you work, then like normal, you off 2 days, but the 2 days that we were off, they rotated. So every week you was off a different day. Tuesday, Wednesday, the next week it went to Wednesday, Thursday, then it went to Thursday, Friday, it done like that. So you would never hardly ever have weekends off. So then people was calling out and complaining, and they went to the union and everything, and they changed it. But the 7 days, that shit will drain you, okay? And I'm going to close this out, and I'm just going to say this. Leave a comment if you want to ask me something. Leave a comment. I'll respond. But it was 4 months before I retired when I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, because I was so damn tired and exhausted. I literally cried, okay? I cried like I was about 2 years old, because I was so goddamn tired. I had never felt that tired in my life. Like when your whole life is on a routine. You're waking up this time, you getting your child together or getting your children together, and you going to sleep, and you keep doing that shit year after year after year. That shit is, and it literally broke me, okay? It literally broke me. I was done. And I just prayed to God to let me finish the last couple months I had, and I got through it. And I never looked back. I only talk to 2 people that's still in that field. I don't talk to anybody that worked there. Like, I literally had to disconnect myself. Now, I still have a lot of, good associates that we are friends on Instagram. They the people that I really, really respect. But for the most, I disassociated myself with everything about it, because I cannot deal with that shit. And I just want you to understand that it's most likely not the job for you, so don't do it. Please don't do it for the money, because you're going to feel undervalued, because you are not going to ever get paid what you're worth. You really work your ass off working there, and you will go home and you will be fucking drained and exhausted, and you won't have nothing really left for your children. Like, I had to push myself every day to be able to do things with my son. I pushed myself every day to do that, and that's why at the end of my career, I was fucking drained, okay? I was tired. So to save yourself the misery, that's why I'm sharing my story, because this is a story I never wanted to talk about, because I don't give a damn about it, okay? I just done this to help you, to help somebody out there. So take the advice from me. I am living proof. It can be done, but you don't even know the shit that I endured. I wouldn't even waste my time talking about all of it, because every day I fight to forget that shit because I don't care nothing about it. So, that's all that I wanted to talk about on this subject. So again, if you like the video, please like the video. Consider subscribing to my channel. Videos is dropping every week. And leave a comment. Thank you for watching.